H1b visa.
The H1b visa bill was
H1b visas, which are given to
with H1b visas and
Value of H1b visas.
Meanwhile, Amazon, Google, and IBM are among the top employers of H1b visa workers, and that group has been particularly hard hit in the mass layoffs that we've been seeing in the tech space.
With so many news about tech layoffs these days, there seems to be one keyword that's been mentioned a lot: the H1b visa. Today, we're going to talk about something that's been on my mind for a while: the abuse of H1b visa in the United States, and how it became modern-day slavery, and why it has to change now. H1b visa was originally designed to allow US companies to temporarily employ foreign workers in specialty occupations. In theory, this visa was designed to allow these companies to fill certain positions they just cannot find qualified American workers for. In the meantime, giving skilled, highly educated foreign immigrants an opportunity to work in the US. It all sounds pretty straightforward and simple, right? So in order for a foreigner to come to the US, you need a visa. Of course, if you come here for work, you're on a working visa. So it's all very simple and straightforward. What's there to talk about? Well, in reality, majority of this visa type goes into big Silicon Valley tech companies, especially given how technology advanced and how much money is being flowing into Silicon Valley companies in the tech sector. There just has been a huge power imbalance between the employer and the employee, which is in this case is the foreign workers. This visa is heavily abused, and it is in fact what I call modern day slavery. And why do I say that, and what do I mean by that? Let's unpack. Let's go back in history and find out how H1b visa goes into existence. In 1952, overriding a veto by President Harry Truman, Congress passed a law, Section 101, 15H1, hence the H1 part, which create the H1A visa, which is for nurse, that is no longer exist, and the H1B visa for specialty occupations. 1990, President George H.W. Bush signed the law that we're working today. But remember, this legislation was made in 1990. That was over 30 years ago. And since that, all this happened.
What matters to me is to provide the best customer service.
To disarm Iraq, to free its people.
With the iPhone in 2007.
Help me God. Congratulations, Mr. President. We will make America strong again.
Doesn't look like anything else.
Of the cryptocurrency industry after.
Yeah, we really named that well, you know.
So on one hand, you have this super outdated system and rules and regulations. And on the other hand, you have the most powerful, wealthy companies that they realize they can totally exploit this system and find all kinds of loophole and benefit themselves. And there's just nothing to stop them from doing that. Here, the USCIS only giving out 85,000 H1B visas, and the valid application window is only through January to April. And there's just a huge increase in the number of applicants in H1B visa each and every year. Therefore, the USCIS issued a lottery system ever since 2014. Based on the last year's number, 780,000 something people apply for the H1B visa, only 85,000 visas. If you do the math, 10%, 780,000 people. Over 70% of the applicants are Indians and Chinese national. The thing about the lottery system is nobody knows how it works. It's basically a black box. In the law, it specifically requires prevailing wage for the employer, meaning that for the employer to hire a certain position from foreign worker force, they have to pay a little bit more than hiring their American counterparts. And there's just so many ways to circumvent that requirement. Companies still find outsourcing companies, basically a third-party companies like Infosys. They outsourcing the working to company like Infosys, and they find and hire contractor workers in India or China or some third world country, and they pay the workers way less through H1b visa. As H1b workers, because of the huge power imbalance, and it is a temporary working visa only valid for 6 years. So at the end of the day, everybody's just keeping their head down and hopefully working as hard as they can, and hopefully one day the employer will give them the chance to sponsor their permanent residency and apply for green card. But anytime down the road, if the employer want to fire the H1b workers, they have no rights whatsoever. And after they get fired, their H1b immigrant status will be immediately revoked, and they were only given 60 days grace period to leave the country. And let's say the company sponsor for your green card from here to here. Because of the diversity rule, when it comes to apply for US citizenship, immigrant from India and China has a huge waiting period. In a lot of cases, as long as over a decade. Over the years, there are lawmakers and social activists that realize the problem that we're facing and that has been advocating and pushing for change. Positive change such as the extension of the OPT length for STEM graduates. 3 years OPT. This does give them a little bit of flexibility and cushion to settle in and really work their way into the best opportunity they can find. But in reality, there's just too many people each and every year increasingly applying for this visa. And personally, I know a lot of people, they just failed the lottery 3 years in a row. There's nothing they can do about it. This country was built by immigrants from day one. And all those people coming in back in the days on the Mayflowers, they don't really know what's in front of them. But they all have big dreams. A dream to improve their lives and their future generations. And that just sounds super appealing and give people hope to strive. And yet I haven't seen a really front-running, super active non-profit that their mission is to tackle this problem. And if you guys know any NGOs or any kind of organization that their mission is to solve and raise the awareness of the H1b visa problem, please leave your comment down below and let me know. And I would love to contribute in any possible ways that I can. And by now, hopefully I did a solid job by explaining and presenting the problem and the ridiculousness of the situation that we're facing. Hopefully we can raise awareness and more people be more advocate and more outspoken about the problem that we're facing and providing possible solutions. At the end of the day, in order for us to improve and keep making a better system, to eliminate all the abuse and loopholes, to make a better living situation for all the foreign workers, it will be a collective effort that everybody will pitch in. At the end of the day, we want our working force to be a meritocracy. And this whole foreign workers come to steal American job narrative is just completely false and fallacious. And we want our tech industry and all the other engineering fields to be filled with the most creative mind and smart people from everywhere all over the world, not a system that is essentially just inbreeding. With all this being said, here's what I propose that we can change. For starters, we need to increase the cap. The maximum number of visa given every year should be increased significantly. At the end of the day, in order for us to improve and keep making a better system, to eliminate all the abuse and loopholes, to make a better living situation for all the foreign workers, it will be a collective effort that everybody will pitch in. Last but not least, if you find this video informative, don't forget to smash that like button, and also make sure you subscribe and turn on that bell notification for future videos. More importantly, share this video on social media for those who you think might find it thought-provoking. Thanks again for watching, and until next time.